It's the Tony Tone Show on Muscatine's Vintage Sound 93.1 FM. May 8th, live in concert, Hall and Oates, along with Tears for Fears in Des Moines, Iowa. And on the Mocklink TV and internet celebrity hotline, John Oates from Hall and Oates. He's talking about his book, music, and more. Without further ado, let's say hello. John Oates, are you there?
Hey, hello.
Hey, man, this is Tony, and you are on the radio in the great state of Iowa. How you doing, sir?
All right. I hope it stopped raining.
Yeah, so, John, we had like a beautiful day yesterday, like 77 degrees, kind of the same thing today, and then rain like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, you know, we're enjoying it while it lasts.
Yep.
And then I hope that, not that it really matters on May 8th when you guys come to Des Moines, because the show is inside. So the weather really won't affect it for the Hall & Oates show, so we don't have to worry about that.
I'm glad of that.
Right, you don't have to be concerned. Congratulations about the memoir, the book, Change of Seasons. It's almost been out for a month, and I know that you've been going around and talking about the book and meeting fans. So if we back up, John, was Change of Seasons something that you had been working on for a while, or were you approached by St. Martin's Press? How did that process come to be?
I got the idea to write the book based on some interviews with my co-writer, Chris Efting, and he was the one. He's written a number of books, and he encouraged me to write the book. And as I began to write the book, Chris guided me through the process, and we basically pitched it to St. Martin's, and who are a great company, and they liked the idea, and they wanted to be involved, and we did the deal, and that's how it happened. And then it took 2 years to write the book. So
wow.
It's been a real interesting process for me.
I interviewed John Fogerty a couple years ago, and he said when he was talking about his book that he would set up a video camera and just start talking to get all the stories back. Was it kind of a similar thing for you, John? Were the stories that you share in the book, were they fresh, or did you kind of have to go back to some notes, or what?
Well, I had written a series of handwritten journals from 1970 to 1980, and they formed the basis of the beginning of the book. A lot of the memories came flooding back as we went through these journals and had a timeline of things that happened. I have a fairly good memory. We reached out to a lot of people who were involved in those early years. They brought their own memories to the table, and I went over things with Daryl as well, and made sure that he was cool with what was happening. And then from there, it was almost like a process. Once the process began, more and more memories began to open. It was like opening up a channel to the past, really. And
it's got to be. I mean, obviously, you've been in the public life for a while. But when you put yourself out there like this, it's tangible, and your fans will pick it up and read it, and then the next time they see you, maybe they'll have things to comment on or ask you about. So how has that been? I mean, obviously, like I said, you've been a public person for a while. So has anything surprised you about when you put out a book like this?
Well, no. I mean, one of the things I didn't want to do, and I did not do, is I write this kind of kiss and tell, kind of sensational,
sure,
bringing out all the dirt and the kind of the seamier side of life. That wasn't interesting to me at all. I didn't want it to be a typical rock memoir in that regard. I really wanted it to make it a really almost like an adventure story in a way. And in a way, it has been an adventure story. It's a story about how, navigating and hard work and being relentlessly dedicated to music. And that's what and also it's about transformation. That's why the title is Change of Season. It's about the fact that I went through a lot of changes in my personal life over the years, and especially in the late 80s, and I had to become a different person in order to go forward. And that's really what the book's about. Also,
perseverance is a word I would use too, right? I mean,
that's a good word.
I think that if there's anything that you have done, you've persevered through some challenging times, and you seem to be at a good place. John, one of my friends is a huge fan of yours, and he sent me like 2 questions. Could I ask these to you on his behalf?
Yeah.
So his name is Paul, and he says, what's the strangest thing a fan has given you? And then his second question is, are you comfortable when you hear yourself on the radio when songs are being played?
The strangest thing fans have given to me, I have no idea. I mean, they've given to us all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, honestly, I really can't pinpoint one thing. We get a lot of hand-drawn pictures, cartoon-like pictures of us that sometimes are funny, sometimes are scary, and sometimes I have no idea what they're thinking. And in terms of, what was the other question?
The other one was, are you comfortable when you hear your songs on the radio?
I'm very comfortable. In fact, the more I hear them, the happier I am.
So then I was kind of wondering, like, if you're at a wedding reception and a DJ, because I DJ weddings occasionally, like if they get to a Hall & Oates song, is it awkward for you when you're like trying to enjoy? I mean, probably not. I don't know. I've always wanted to ask that because you're.
Well, I was at a restaurant bar in New York City last week, and they had a DJ, and he started playing some Hall & Oates stuff when I walked in the room, and I thought it was a compliment. I thought, in fact, I make it a point to go up and thank them.
Wow.
I went up to the guy and I said, "Cool, man, thanks for playing the tunes," and he was like, "Man, I love these songs," and so that's the way you connect with people, and I think that's why our music connects with people in that kind of way.
Before I let you go, John Oates, Change of Seasons, the book, the memoir, available everywhere books are sold. It's been out for almost a month. And as I did say, John, May 8th, you are going to be in the great state of Iowa, along with Daryl Hall and Tears for Fears. I haven't seen you guys live in concert. I'm going to that show. What can I expect at a Hall & Oates show in 2017, John?
Well, I think you're gonna hear a great band, first of all. And not only from us, but you're also Tears for Fears is fantastic. I'm really a big fan of them, and I'm so glad that they're doing the tour with us. You're going to hear a great Hall & Oates band, and you're going to hear the songs that you recognize and know very well in a more dynamic and more exciting way, because our live arrangements are really cool. And at the same time, we're going to reintroduce some old deep album tracks that we haven't played in years. We're going to do a song. We're doing one of my tunes, Possession Obsession, from the 80s, which I haven't played since the 80s, probably.
Wow.
And we're doing a song from the 70s, from the War Babies album, called Is It a Star, which we also haven't played since the 70s. Wow. So we like to do things like that. We'll interject these deep cuts into the string of hits that we have, and we try to make it a really fun and cool, musical evening, and that's what we're all about.
Last question, John Oates. Any talk of going into the studio with Daryl or solo stuff or any new recordings coming down the pipe?
Yeah, well, I'm not going into the studio with Daryl. I think our days of recording are pretty much over. We have this body of work that we could play for the rest of our lives. So we're much more, stimulated by his solo stuff, Daryl's TV show for him. And I just finished an album called Arkansas, which I'm going to be releasing in early 2018. And it's a really cool. It's a much more of a roots traditional Americana record.
Wow.
And I'm really excited about it. And there's a lot of Delta blues and cool stuff on it. So with an amazing band from Nashville. So that's my new project.
Well, John, I'll tell you this much: this radio station, we have local control of our playlist. So when that comes out, please join me again, and we'll play some songs.
Man, we will get back to you.
Absolutely. John Oates, Change of Seasons, the memoir, available now. We'll see you May 8th live in concert. Thank you so much for the time, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Take care.